Pastor Steve here. The last section of the model prayer today says, "And do not lead us into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever." Amen. I remember in my youth a great TV show called The Flip Wilson Show. That was the first African American that had his own variety show. It was a hoot. One of the characters was the preacher's wife, or Geraldine, and she brought home this new dress from this expensive dress shop. And her husband, the preacher, said, "Why'd you buy another dress?" She said, "The devil made me do it." She describes how he started the temptation. He followed her, and then he kind of pushed her in the door. I still smile when I think about it. And then she said, and the devil pulled a gun, and he forced me to sign your name to a check. We all laugh at that. But many people are quick to lay the temptations they experience and fall into at the feet of someone else. I recall one man who was falling for someone other than his wife saying, "But why would God let me have these feelings?" He didn't follow through, by the way. James 1:12-15 deals with this very issue. "Blessed is the man who endures temptation, for when he has been approved, he'll receive the crown of life, which the Lord has promised to those who love him. Let no one say when he is tempted, 'I'm tempted by God.' For God cannot be tempted by evil, nor does he himself tempt anyone. But each one is tempted when he is drawn away by his own desires and enticed. Then when desire is conceived, it gives birth to sin, and sin, when it's full grown, brings forth death." Let's be real here. The devil doesn't need to tempt most of us. And as the verse says, God never tempts us to sin. We are pretty good at following the fantasies of our minds and getting to a place of something dying. I wrote a song about that a number of years ago in the middle of one of my temptations. Don't worry, I'm not going to sing it here. But it's a sentiment of my own temptation, of my own struggle. In the midst of a fertile mind, the seed is planted, and it grows too soon to proportions never meant. Thought turns into lust, and lust turns into sin, and sin turns into death, a straight path bent. Fantasy, the playground of your mind. The adversary's sketches have appeal. Fantasy, don't leave real love behind. As to Satan's cheap replacement for the real, you kneel. But it wasn't only Satan's sketches. It was my own fantasy, my own sinful coveting that began to lead me down that road. And I thank God that my Lord intervened, my friends kept me accountable, or more destruction would certainly have happened. In the Proverbs, chapter 4, the writer says this, "Keep your heart, guard your heart with all diligence, for out of it spring all the issues of life. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Because yours is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever." Amen. Not only will he help you, he has the power. You ponder that. Pastor Steve.